There is a version of you that would terrify your current self, a mind that does not move when chaos demands panic, a nervous system that never learned the language of pressure. That version exists in stillness, not reaction, in inevitability, not inspiration. Ancient Japan feared one thing more than the enemy's sword, a mind that can be pushed out of its center. The Ronin carried no motivation into battle. He carried something heavier. He carried Fudōshin, the immovable mind. And this is the mindset that made the Last Ronin emotionless under pressure. Imagine a modern young man. Let's call him Jacob. Jacob wants calm, not the gentle calm of meditation music, but the unshakable calm that lasts when the world collapses its hands onto your pulse. Jacob wants to be emotionless under pressure, so he seeks the modern formulas. Breathe like this, morning routine like that. Think positive here, motivation there. Mindfulness exercises he abandons when deadlines roar. Atomic habits he forgets when stress knocks. He wants the finish line without drowning in the process that leads to it. Jacob trains inconsistency without realizing he is training at all. His identity forms around escape routes, not foundations. The moment pressure arrives, Jacob checks himself like someone checking the weather. How bad will this feel? What will break first? Can I handle this? Fear raises its hand early, and Jacob raises his hand back. With every emotional flare, Jacob reinforces a contract. Unknowingly, pressure is something to fear. Fear is something to respond to. Response is proof of engagement. Engagement gives fear narrative authority. The samurai would say Jacob does not lack courage. He lacks center of gravity in awareness. Courage is a candle flame. Pressure is wind. Candles prove nothing in storms. Jacob needed not brightness, but weight. And in ancient Japan, warriors solved this long before science invented psychology charts, long before modern men turned discipline into entertainment. Long before pressure could enter the body with pre-written victory, they solved it by forging the mind like a blade tempered in volcanic silence, until emotion had no jurisdiction left to recruit. Jacob's awakening begins when he hears the quiet truth. You are not conquered by pressure. You are conquered by the mind that reacts to pressure emotionally before awareness speaks first. The Ronin trained to remove that mind entirely. The system was deceptively simple, the kind of simplicity modern minds insult before collapsing under it. It was Shugyo, ascetic training that removes excess, not increases arsenal, a structure that makes pressure irrelevant because it makes the self smaller than awareness itself. Where Jacob practiced to get better, the Ronin practiced to become quieter than pressure's demand for noise. Shugyo was not a routine. It was a psychological starvation chamber for fear. Samurai trained sensory dominance through somatic repetition, feet planted deliberately. Breath long, low, slow, uncolored by emotion. Sword swings practiced until personality erased narrating them. One motion, thousands of mornings, without cognitive applause. Fudōshin was not emotional numbness. It was ego unemployment by repetition. Psychology would frame it clinically, a nervous system rewired through consistency to regulate threat detection without emotional recruitment. But Bushido framed it poetically. Emotion is a child that panics when mind is undeveloped. Fudōshin is the adult that never answers its tantrum. Zen complemented this harshness, not with softness, but emptiness. Cut movement out of the future. Do not rehearse outcomes. Rehearse presence. Leave the question mark, with nowhere to stand. Shugyo built hierarchy, awareness, fey emotion, fey fear, doubt. Where outsiders saw ritual, warriors saw inevitability architecture. That is the ancient system, simple enough to insult, deadly enough to transform. When Jacob begins training awareness without emotional color, the body protests first, not the mind. The modern mind confuses protest with signal to retreat. The warrior sees protest as heat rising before metal bends into weapon. After 5 minutes, this feels wrong. After 50 minutes, this is boring. After 500 minutes stretched across mornings, where is the drama? Fear speaks with democratic whispers, you need motivation. This is too plain, maybe tomorrow. You're wasting time. Embody something more exciting. But Bushido warned long ago, a man who negotiates with himself trains the enemy inside the body. The war is not Jacob versus pressure. It is Jacob versus the Jacob that reacts emotionally before awareness asserts hierarchy. Zen interprets it simply: the chatter you hear is not wisdom. It is the self-refusing demolition. The internal war is not fought by argument, but by out-repeating the argument until the voice box starves. The Ronin never battled pressure. He battled the psychology that wanted to respond to pressure emotionally first. Jacob discovers the same war now, not loud, not glorious, but brutal in silence. And silence is where the battle is decided. Not after fear speaks, before speaking even begins. There is a Bushido law harsher than loss. Choose one path entirely. Repeat it until hesitation forgets its name. Jacob doesn't choose many paths anymore. He selects one somatic truth and engraves it without editorial permission. Fudōshin works because it removes alternatives entirely. A system with alternatives still allows hesitation to believe in dual citizenship. But Ichido, the one path, is exile policy for doubt. Modern minds ask, is this working? Warriors answer by not letting the question begin at all. Jacob realizes why the one path transforms. Not because it adds strength, but because it subtracts weakness until strength is the only remainder. Ronin carried no motivation. He carried absence of negotiation authority. Jacob begins to understand. If calm requires excitement, it is stimulation, not stillness. If calm depends on mood, it is preference, not doctrine. If calm breaks, when pressure increases, it was never forged. The one path is simple. Do one thing daily until choice dissolves. Dissolve choice until hesitation starves. Starve hesitation until pressure has nothing left to threaten. That is the Ronin's way, Zen teaches. The gap is where weakness enters. Not failure, not emotion. The gap. Jacob learns identity erosion math through metaphor, not calendars. Lone day skipped. The ego negotiates residency again. 2 days skipped. Rhythm forgets posture. 3 days skipped. Identity fractures like ink, touched by rain. Psychology now confirms the mechanism ancient swords already knew. Neural circuits consolidate strongest through daily activation without interruption. But warriors said it poetically long before MRI scans. Consistency is hammer face sparking. Intensity is forge fire. Intensity glows, fake consistency hardens. The Ronin practiced without gaps because gaps are invitations. And warriors do not send invitations to fear. Jacob begins attendance discipline, not emotional intensity. He trains presence now like a man signing identity contracts, daily unbroken, unemotional, unnegotiated. That is practice without gaps. Not dramatic, but terrifying in continuity. Warriors predecided outcomes before impulse recruited emotion into doubt. Jacob now adopts this armor modernly, training clothes laid out at night, quota for repetition locked before dawn, discipline determined before weak days arrive at Parliament. Zen says it simply: remove the questioner dissolves. Bushido says it poetically: solutions are armor for the future self, who would betray you. Jacob stops waiting for obstacles to rise. He starves their initiation timeline beforehand. That is the Ronin's armor, not built to protect the man from fear, but to protect awareness from the man who would try to respond emotionally first. One morning, Jacob rises without debate. The mind looks for argument, finds none, retreats. Breath begins low, slow, long, uncolored, unclaimed by fear. Awareness spreads before emotion can recruit narrative. Jacob has not mastered many philosophies. He has embodied one unbroken path. Motivation is phoenix fire. Fudōshin is mountain gravity. Pressure rises, but finds nothing reactive to press against. Jacob is no longer sampling discipline. He has become its consequence. That is the transformation, the birth of the immovable identity, the execution of negotiation authority, the death of the self that flinches before awareness speaks first. That is the Ronin's way. That is Fudōshin's consequence. And that is how fear was destroyed. Not through battle, but through presence that never allowed fear the honor of beginning. If this philosophy resonates with you, subscribe for more lessons from the Last Ronin and the path of Japan. Bushido and Zen, walk the ashen path with us.